hot and sexy? Is that too much to ask? Hi guys, my name is Frilly. Welcome and or welcome back to the channel of the girl who yaps, amongst other things. But for today's specific video, we are going to be yapping about me not feeling hot, not feeling sexy. Literally, in order to like drive home the point, because I'm committed to the bit, I made sure to wear like a super like sexy top, you know what I mean? And like I even did my makeup in like a, I mean, I don't know, in what I think is a sexy way, because I never wear lashes, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna wear like lashes today, just like spice it up a bit, you know what I mean? Okay, so also, ooh, if you're liking the vibes already, you're liking the energy, you're liking what's going on so far, I think before even watching the rest of the video, you should just like. So like now, comment now, subscribe now, so you don't accidentally forget to do it later. So yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, I wanted to talk today about me not feeling hot, me not feeling sexy, like the reasons behind it, and just how kind of like moving through life, like what am I doing, like I don't even know. But yeah, so essentially, right, when I was younger, probably around the time of like middle school, high school. When I was in middle school, I basically decided that I was ugly, right? That I was ugly, that I was unattractive. I did make a video on here that you should probably watch where I talked about like being mid in middle school and stuff like that. I had resigned to thinking that I was like mid or ugly or whatever because of some instances that took place when I was in like middle school, right? Okay, when I was in middle school, Instagram was like a brand new app starting out, and like everyone was just starting to use it. It just got popular. On that app, oftentimes people would do this thing where it would be like for a rate. So the system was you like the post of the person who's saying like for a rate, and then because you liked it, they would go to everyone who liked it, they would go to your profile, find a picture of you, put that picture of you, like screenshot it, put it in their group chat, and then everyone in the group chat would like rate it. They'd be like, oh, it's like this person's a 10, this person's a 7, they're a 6 or whatever. Like they would rate it in the group chat, and they would take a screenshot of that rating, and then they would post it again on Instagram. Like they would be like, oh, look, like this is the rating that you got from our group chat, right? Now, me, I did not want to get rated because I had been rated before, and like the thing is like they're not like DMing you these rates, like they're like showing everyone on their Instagram like what you were rated, and the fact that you asked them to rate you in the first place, like everyone's going to know. But I had this weird thing when I was in middle school that where I would essentially like every post that I would see. So this was literally me scrolling. I'd be like I was liking everything. I was like I wouldn't even look at the picture sometimes. I just thought like you just like things because that's like the nice thing to do, you know? And so I would like things a lot. And then I remember one time I unintentionally liked someone's like for a rate post, and I got the ratings, and the rates were all 5, 4.5. Someone would be like, I feel like you guys are being a little too generous. Like I feel like she's like more of like a 3 or whatever. Like these are the ratings that I got, right? And it did not feel good to get these rates because obviously, like, you know, like I was like a preteen, and obviously when you're like puberty, like that's when you're starting to like care more about like your appearance and care more about what other people think of like what you look like. And everyone's telling me like, girl, you're mid, you're not cute, you're whatever, like, you know? And so I was like, damn. But I just tried to avoid those posts as much as possible. But whenever I would accidentally like one, it was always the same thing. It was always the same number. I would always get 5s, I would always get 4s. Like that was like the common thing for me, right? So basically around that time, because of things like that, because of the fact that like I had a lot of friends who were getting attention from boys, but I was not getting it, like things like that, like I would take all of that into play, and I was like, okay, I'm not that attractive as a girl. Like I'm not really like pretty, like that's like the thing that I would say, right? And so I basically told myself that to just kind of like cope and be like, well, that's just how life is. Like that's not everyone's gonna be the pretty girl. Like it's okay, like you're just not, and that's fine, you know? And so I did that, and then so I remember thinking that to myself, and then I remember going to high school, and that thought was still in my mind. I'm like, I am not pretty, but I've resigned myself to the fact that that's totally okay. Like that's totally fine, right? And so I'm pretty sure if anyone ever flirted with me or anything, I probably didn't notice because I probably didn't think that's what it was. Like I probably did not. And then also high school, you know, people in high school are a little immature. So boys do that thing where they'll prank me and be like, oh my gosh, like my friend likes you or whatever, or all of that, in order to like see how embarrassed I was when I saw that that wasn't true. Like, oh my God, this would literally happen. Like I would literally be walking down the hallway, minding my business, having a good day, whistling, walking, acting like everything is fine, everything is beautiful in the world, right? And all of a sudden I would just hear somebody go like, hey, you. And I turn around and I see like two or multiple boys walking, and one of them will be like, hey, my friend likes you. They would be like, they would say that, right? They would point, they'd be like, my friend likes you. And then I would look at the friend, and the friend would look me dead in the eye and be like, no, 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 no. And I'm just like, why? Like, why did you have to do that? I was having a good day. I was minding my business. Like, the birds were chirping. The birds were chirping. The sun was shining. I was having a good day. And you literally stopped me. You literally stopped me to humble me out of nowhere. And it was all to like make fun of their friend or like kind of like roast their friend into thinking like, oh yeah, like you would want some like girl that looks like that. Ha ha ha, whatever, right? And so things like that also added to me being like, yeah, I'm not that cute. And it would affect like so many things in life. Like for one, I was also like a theater kid, right? If you can't tell, I'm kind of dramatic or whatever. Like, yeah, so I was like a theater kid, and I swear you could give me any monologue, any play, anything, and even if I don't perfect it like the first time, I'm going to practice and practice and practice until I get it like perfect, right? I want it to be like super, super good. And I would do that for any role. I could be the annoying girlfriend. I could be like, oh my gosh, like hopelessly in love. I could be angry. I could be longing. I could be doing anything. I could totally do it. Funny, which is so hard to do, by the way. Like comedy is really hard. So whatever, like anyway, all of these things, I could do them. But the second I was given something to do where it was like, okay, like now you have to be like the pretty girl. You have to be like the attractive girlfriend or like the girl that's flirting with the guy. I was like, or can I not? Because I didn't want to hear the boys in my class make fun of me or like snicker or laugh at me like being or doing this part, right? And I remember, oh my God, I remember specifically having this one thing where it was like a Black History show or something, and I had to recite this poem, but the way I was reciting it, like there had to be like guys on stage, and I was essentially supposed to be kind of like walking and being like, oh my gosh, like these guys, like whatever, like I was supposed to be like, oh, these beautiful Black men or whatever, like I was supposed to be like doing this whole thing, right? And like I said, like for me, this was like the one thing my teacher gave me, and I was just like, I can't do this. Like I was like, I can't. She literally had to like have a classmate of mine come coach me and be like, do this, like learn how to like do this. And I was like, okay, so okay, I'm hearing you. So I graze their chest and I walk seductively and like I couldn't do it. And in case you're like, okay girl, like it was all in your head, like probably not, like none of the guys were actually embarrassed to be doing this like show with you or whatever. Dude, I literally remember like we had like back rooms in my drama class. Like we had like a big room, and then we had like back rooms, right? Where you could like rehearse different things, like, you know, get dressed, like, you know, all these different things. So me and the boys that were going to be on stage for the performance, we were in one of the back rooms, right? And we were practicing this thing. And my friend is showing me like, you have to like do this, you have to graze them, you have to do all whatever. Like, and I'm doing this in the back rooms. And then one of the boys, one of their friends is like in class, because like we're also in class while we're studying, like we're doing this. Like we had just like left the big classroom to go practice in like the smaller room, right? So one of their friends like leaves the big classroom and just comes to like sit and chill while we're rehearsing this, you know what I mean? And so now I'm even more nervous because these boys, like they were already like into it because this is what they're supposed to be doing. Like they're assigned to do this thing for this show. So they're obviously like, they're not gonna be snickering or whatever because they're like, okay, like I have to be serious, like this is my role, right? But then when their friend comes in, so their friend is not a part of this. Like he's not obligated to be serious during this moment. And so I'm just gonna say one of the guys that's standing that I'm just kind of like pretend flirting with or whatever, that's, you know, he's there. Let's call him Michael, right? So I'm like, you know, grazing Michael, and I'm just like, oh yes, like he's so whatever I am, or something. And then so I'm doing that, and then his friend had come in. Let's say his friend's name is Josh. Josh is like watching us like before we start, and then once we start and Josh sees me on his best friend Michael just kind of just being like, ooh, or whatever, he just starts snickering. It's like and then Michael, who I'm facing, is looking at him, and it's just like, no, 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 never, no, 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 no. And I have to say, that didn't feel good. Hold on. No, we're good. We're good. We're good. That didn't feel good. That made me feel even more like disgusting. And for the rest of the day, I was literally just like so sad. And I mean, I did the show, like I was in the show, like I did the performance and everything, but like the entire time I'm just like, I knew it. Like I knew I was ugly. Like I know it's embarrassing to be seen with me. Like this is so, like I feel so bad that I had to like embarrass them in front of everybody like that by being all like hot and whatever on them or whatever. Like I feel so bad that I had to do that. That's one experience in high school. My first kiss was when I was 15, yeah? And the person who I had my first kiss with was not someone that I liked. He wasn't like someone that I was like, ooh, like I'm fawning over him. I think he's so cute or whatever. No, he was like a friend of mine, just like a friend. And friend, I will say the word loosely because of what happens later. So he was a friend of mine, and he kind of knew that I was like more so of a people pleaser at this time. So kind of like whatever you would tell me to do, like if you were like, hey Fernie, like do this, very much like Ella Enchanted, I was just like, yes, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna do it, whatever. But also at that time, like while I was in high school, I was also very, very religious and very, very like, oh, I'm not doing anything until marriage. I'm just very careful. Like I'm not gonna do anything too crazy or whatever. And so I was very like also resistant towards boys because I was just like, Jesus is watching, hello. Like, you know what I mean? And so like I was already like on that, right? So I was already like on that type of time, and like he knew that I was on that type of time, right? But he also knew I was a people pleaser, and like, if you ask me to do something, I'm probably gonna do it. So this one day we were alone and he was like, hey, can I kiss you? And I remember being like, what? And he was like, yeah, like, can I kiss you? Like, and I was just like, oh, sure. Okay, because like I said, I didn't like him. Like I didn't like him at all. Like I was like, this is just, to me, I was like, this is just my friend. Like I don't like him, you know? And the can I kiss you would have been kind of like whatever, but what really made this kiss hurt was that right before he kissed me, he said, I need you not to tell anybody that this happened. Like don't tell a soul that this happened, right? And I remember at the time being like, wow, because this was a friend of mine. Like he was the kind of person that was very much just like very braggy about like the girls that he's with. Like he was like one of the people that would be like, yeah, like I'm with this girl, like da 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 da, whatever. And so for him to tell me like, you're the one person, like I want nobody to know that, like, you know, yo, sorry. I'm okay, I'm hot, I'm sexy now, I'm sexy now. But whatever. So for him to say that really like cut deep. I was like, dang, so I really am just like ugly. Like I'm just not cute. Like I really am just like embarrassing to know. Like for people to think that you're with me is something that you should be ashamed of. It's something that you should be embarrassed by, right? And yeah, and so that's basically kind of, I just like had that in my head, like you are an embarrassment to be with kind of thing. With like, you're literally so disgusting that I don't even want other people to know that I like you or that I'm with you or whatever, right? So, and so after things like that happened, I was even more awkward around guys like I liked romantically or that I thought like me. Like I was just kind of like very awkward around them, right? Or like, and like for instance, there was like this one guy that I used to hang out with in one of my classes. Like I had this one class, you know, that one science class that you literally don't do anything. Like everybody just like sits around and like just talks together, you know? And so I had this one class and I had it with this one boy, and like, you know, like we had like kind of like a group in that class. We would always like hang out, like me, like two other girls, and then like these like 2 or 3 other boys, and we would all just like hang out in this class all the time, platonically. Like we would just like laugh and joke and like be cool, right? Okay, cool. So in this time, I'm like a sophomore in high school, and this boy I'm talking about, he's like a senior. And I remember that I go to my theater class one day, and then like one of the girls in my class like comes up to me and she's like, hey, I heard you're friends with, make up a name, Jason. Okay, whatever. She's like, I heard you're friends with Jason. Like, she's like, are you friends with Jason or whatever? And I was like, yeah, Jason's my friend. Why? You know? And she was like, a girl. Like, Jason is like every girl in every junior, senior, like girl, like we all like him. Like we all think he's like really, really cute. Like, so yeah, we were just like wanting to know like how, like, like you're friends with him or whatever. And I remember being like, what? And then a senior girl was talking to me and was just like, yeah, like, you know Jason, like you talked to Jason or whatever. And I remember being like, yeah. As soon as I realized this guy was like a hot commodity of sorts, I started getting so awkward with him. Like, whereas I used to be so like, oh my God, Jason, what's up? And I would like hug him and be like, yeah, like let's chill, like whatever, like let's laugh, let's joke, let's kiki or whatever in class. I was more awkward around him now because I was just like, I don't want people to see me with you because that would embarrass you and your reputation. I know, I'm sorry. I know I'm sorry, but like, what did you expect me to think? But like, what do you expect me to think after all of these things? Like, so yeah, like that's what I was thinking at the time, you know what I mean? Like, you remember like there was this one time where I saw him in public, but I was with like a group of people from the school. Like it was like an event for school, I guess, but we were like in public for it, like we were at the mall for it. And I see him and I remember like, I'm with this group, they know who he is. I know they know who he is. And he had already graduated our school at this point, like I hadn't seen him since. And he sees me and he's just like, oh my gosh, Furley. And I'm like, Jason, because I'm with these friends. And once again, I'm like, I don't want to embarrass him. I don't want to embarrass him. So even though he's literally being super nice and be like, hey, what's up? Really like, what's up? I'm like, hey, Jason. I'm like, oh yeah, how have you been? Are you in college? Yeah, is it treating you good? That's good. And I was so awkward. And I was like so awkward because I didn't want to embarrass him. And the thing is, what sucks is that like, what sucks is that this mindset, this idea of me being like, you know, like too embarrassing to be with or whatever, like it didn't stop because like I even like got to college or whatever and I would get nervous. I had like this one teacher who would always do like real life examples. It was like a marketing teacher. He would always give us like real life examples in class. Like he would be like, let's say you, and he would point to me and he'd be like, are married to him, and he would point to like another guy in the class. And he'd be doing that to kind of like talk about an example, like a marketing example. And I promise you, I would be so tuned in. I would be so tuned in the entire class, like, yeah. But then as soon as he said, let's say you are married to him, I was like, please don't embarrass him like that. Don't embarrass him like that. Like, oh my God, girl. It was ingrained in me that I would literally get anxiety, girl. Like, I was like, please don't embarrass the boys by saying they might like me. Please don't do that. And it was really, really bad, right? Blah. I'll probably tell you guys like how I stopped being insecure eventually, like later on. But you asked me, let me know if you want me to make a video on that, by the way. Because I'm not insecure anymore. So I'm like, you know, if you want like tips on like how to stop being insecure, it's good. Okay, but yes, at a certain point, I was just kind of like, you know what? One thing I did notice was that people thought I was cute. Like, you know, she's like adorable. Like, oh, like she's cute. Also, like I'm 5 feet. Like I'm like shorter than like everyone. I literally smile like this. I have a dimple or whatever. So people I thought were always kind of like, oh my God, like you're so little, like you're so cute, like you're so adorable. So for a very long time, because of that, I was like, okay, you know what? I don't think I'm the kind of person that could be like seductive or hot or sexy, but cute. I know cute. I know how to do cute. I know how to do adorable. I know how to do just like whatever. And so for a very long time, like when it came to like doing things like posting on social media, like any picture that I would post, it was always me being like, like, hey, like what, like ah. All of my posts were something along the lines of that because I was just kind of like, what do I look best doing? Looking cute or adorable. So that's all I'm gonna do is be cute or adorable. But I think there was like a part of me on the inside that was like, man, I really wish I could be like hot or sexy or whatever. And also like I grew up in Miami. Guys. So the girls here, when it comes to being hot and sexy, they have that down pat. And I was like, man, like I've always kind of like looked at those girls and been like, damn, like I wish I had like, and be like, damn, like I wish I had the confidence. I wish I had the confidence to do that. But I'm just a girl who's like cute. Like I can be cute and I can, you know, do that, but I'm not going to do anything like too drastic or whatever. Because once again, I was still scared that like if I tried to like pose or if I tried to do something or post something where I was looking hot or looking sexy, it would be something that people laughed at. It would be something that people mocked. So I was like, I'm just gonna stick to what I know, which is the cute, which is the adorable, and that's what we're gonna stick with. Like I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm not gonna go too crazy because I know my limits. I know what I can do. I know my limits. I know what I can handle and I know what I can't handle. And being hot and sexy, I can't handle that, babes. I can't handle that. But like I said, there was a point where I did eventually gain confidence. And that was probably around like the end of college. Like I gained a lot more confidence, a lot more like, ooh yeah, like I got this, whatever kind of energy. And I was like, okay, you know, well, if you're more confident now and if you feel more beautiful and if you feel more whatever, like you're gonna have to do that thing that you were always terrified of doing. You should start trying to pose like the girl who's hot and sexy and like dress like the girl who's hot and sexy and like wear the makeup or just the vibe. Like do the things that hot and sexy girls do, because you clearly want to do it, but you've been holding yourself back because you're scared that people will laugh at you. Now that you're more confident, force yourself to do that. Like, be more hot, be more sexy, like literally vibe. I genuinely like started to like do that, and I think like I'll show you some pictures that I would always post on Instagram, like here, and then like these are like recent pictures that I've taken, and I'm like, wait, I'm starting to gain a lot more of the confidence to just be this way and just like pose this way or whatever. Yeah, and honestly it's really exciting for me because I'm so serious. Like, I hate to admit it, but being hot, being sexy, it is so empowering, guys. Like, it is, like, it really is. I will listen to so many Meg Thee Stallion songs, like, oh yeah, like, oh whatever, like, I'm feeling hot, I'm feeling sexy, and then I put the clothes on and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm feeling hot, I'm feeling sexy, and then I put the lashes on and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm feeling hot, I'm feeling sexy, and it feels so good. And I think especially like, and I feel like the reason why especially for me it feels so liberating is because I went through that period of literally feeling like that it was impossible for me, that being hot was impossible and being sexy was impossible. So now I'm like, wait, it's totally possible. Like, look at me in this top. What? Look at me in these lashes. What? Bodies what? T. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, you know, okay, like I'm getting more and more to the point where I'm like, okay, like try to do the sexy things more, try to do the hot things more, because I also was like kind of embarrassed because I'm like, okay, like even like when it comes to posting things like that, I'm like, y'all, I'm still like followed by the people in high school that had me thinking I was ugly in the first place. Like, so I'm like, I don't know how I want to, I'm kind of like, their opinion of me is kind of, and then I'm like, you know what, no, screw it, do what you want to do. Like, you want to be hot, you want to be sexy, do it. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it. And it feels so free, it feels so liberating, and I am so happy whenever like I put on something that I think is sexy, and then whatever, and then like I walk by the mirror and then like I have like a glance of myself in it, and then I genuinely like feel like I feel hot, guys, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Like, I didn't think that, oh, if you cry one more time, I'll beat your ass. But yeah, like walking past the mirror while putting on like a hot outfit, like a sexy fit, like while listening to Meg Thee Stallion and just like, you know, whatever, like it feels so good. It feels so good because when I was younger, I never thought I would be here. I never thought I would get to the point where I was just like I am so hot and I'm so sexy and I love myself for it. Like, matter of fact, let me go back to my theater teacher. Like, let me call her and be like, girl, give me that monologue. I will do it again, and I will do it the right way. You know what I mean? Like, I should totally do that probably. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling hotter now, definitely feeling a bit sexier and whatever. And yeah, even though I still feel like I have to kind of like force myself to like, you know, be that way publicly or whatever, I noticed that whenever I do that, I feel so good. Like, I'm really walking out Meg Thee Stallion vibes, and it's amazing. Are you kidding? So yeah. But yeah, if there's anybody else out there who knows what I'm talking about, like, you know what it feels like to be like scared of being sexy or scared of being pretty or cute or whatever, like, it gets better. It gets better. And yeah, like, let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to stay sexy and beautiful and pretty and happy. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, and thank you for hearing me yap. Like, I yapped for so long. Like, I just yapped for so long. Like, I know this video is gonna be like 30 minutes long, and I'm so sorry in advance. Like, oh my gosh. But have the bestest day. I love you guys so much. Mwah. Bye.